for me. So my name is Pam, and I am part of the Ashford, Canterbury, Folkestone and Margate Adventure and Pathfinder Club, and we call ourselves ACFM for short. So that's who I am. And this afternoon, for the next kind of 3/4 of an hour, I'll be sharing with you the Bridges Honour. I just want to make it clear that I'm not an expert in bridges by any means. I have researched this just specifically for today, and it has been absolutely amazing going through this, and I'm really eager to share it with you all. And I pray that you will be blessed by it just how I was. I was amazed by some of the facts that came out as I researched this. So I've got 62 slides, but I don't want you to panic or drop off. A lot of them are pictures, similar to what Pastor just did, and they are actually showing you in practical terms, bridges in terms of what I'm going to be talking about. So please do stay on and enjoy. So what I'm
we'll put the link to the worksheets on the chats as well, so
okay.
you can write down the answers as you go along as well.
Oh, great, brilliant. And some of them I've actually got the answers on there, so I've helped you out there. Okay, let's see if this is going to play ball. Why is it not changing? Okay, so I'll just briefly tell you what the requirements of the honour are. So you have to define some terms associated with bridges, which will help your understanding. Look at 6 main types of bridge designs with examples of each. Explore the distances or the span that each of these bridges go. Name the bridge that can span the longest distance. Draw or illustrate the basic design of some bridge types. Watch a video about bridges. Make a list of at least 8 notable bridges, or name 2 bridges that you have crossed and tell what design they are. Make a video or a multimedia scrapbook presentation about bridges you have seen. Build a bridge using materials such as craft sticks, toothpicks, yarn, thread, and glue, and recite John 3:16. Then tell how this verse describes Jesus's role as a bridge between heaven and earth. So they are the requirements of the honor, and we're going to go through these. Many of them you will see that the answers are actually there. So that's what we're going to be discussing for the rest of our time together. Okay, so we're going to start with the first requirement, which is to define the terms. Okay, so what is a bridge? What is a bridge? And I've just taken the explanation from a dictionary, and it says a bridge is a structure built to span a valley, a road, a railroad, or a body of water, or other physical obstacles, and that's for the purpose of providing passage over that obstacle. So you're not actually going to get rid of the obstacle. In order to preserve that, you would put something over it, which is called a bridge, in order to still get over and still retain the obstacle. So I cheekily used one of Pastor's Lego slides there to show a bridge. It's just a bit of fun, but I know that we all know what a bridge looks like. And this is exactly it. This bridge has been built over an obstacle in order to have passage over that obstacle and to retain the physical features. So we wouldn't actually get rid of that obstacle, that physical feature. Okay, then we look at an aqueduct. An aqueduct is a bridge that carries water. And these were popular before we had electric pumps. Now we have electric pumps and all sorts where we are able to do amazing things. And God has blessed people with knowledge and wisdom, understanding, in order to produce some bridges that are just out of this world and amazing, which we'll see as we go along. So this is an example of an aqueduct. It's got water and there's a barge going over there. And we will look at arch bridges, but you can see that that bridge actually has some arches there. And yeah, so that is an example of an aqueduct. False work, and again, this is a definition of some of the terms that are used with bridges. And this is the temporary support scaffolding that's used during the construction. It's not used on all bridges, but it's used on many types of bridges. And this is what it looks like. You may well have seen some I don't know if you've been on the Dartford crossing or some of our other bridges in London, you will see sometimes where they're doing repairs, they will put that scaffolding up. It's known in technical terms in bridge wording as false work. Okay, and when they are creating new bridges, they will use that to support the structure while they are in the process of building a new bridge. So that's false work. And then we look at compression force. Just get to my right slide here. So the downward pressure, which is usually vertical, is applied to the supporting columns of a bridge. So when you look at compression, compression is the force that squeezes materials together. And then tension is the one that pulls the materials apart, okay? So you can see the arrows on the diagram there. So the compression is pulling it together, compress, and then the tension is pulling it apart. And you've got this pushing and pulling going on. And this blue arrow, the force, represents any vehicles that would be going over that structure, any trains or, as we saw in the earlier picture, a barge. And that force actually helps with that. So I'll explain a bit more how that works. The force tries to elongate the object, okay, makes it longer, and that's called tension. And then the force that tries to pull, sorry, I've lost my point now. The force that tries to shorten an object is called compression. And the compression squeezes those materials together. And compression and tension is present in all bridges. All bridges have an element of compression and tension. And those two forces, they affect and they determine whether the structure of a bridge fails or not. So if that isn't calculated accurately when the bridge is being designed, then that bridge could potentially fail. That's a fault, isn't it? I don't like going over very high bridges. And so as I was researching this and thinking, man, I'm going to be going over bridges now thinking, I wonder if the compression and tension is right. But it's the job of the actual bridge design to handle those forces without it breaking or snapping. How wonderful is that? That is just so amazing. And as you go over a bridge after doing this, you will never look at a bridge in the same way again, because that's how I feel. I will never look at a bridge in the same way again. Okay, so again, this is an example there of the tension and the compression, the forces that either pull together or pull apart. And that is just another way of illustrating it. This is a cable-stayed bridge. We're going to look at different types of bridges, but you can see the red is actually the tension. So those cables are really taut. And then you've got the green, which is where the compression happens. And so there's tension and compression going all the time into these bridges. And then the way that the bridge is actually designed is what ensures that that bridge doesn't fail. Absolutely amazing. So, okay, we spoke about tension force, so I can just move over that one. We're going to look at the different types of bridges now. So we start with the Bascule Bridge. And again, the requirement is that you name the bridge and you talk about what the bridge is. This is a movable bridge, so it's something that moves. It continually balances the span throughout the upward swing in providing clearance for boat traffic. Can you think of a bridge that provides clearance in London for boat traffic? Pathfinders? They open and close relatively quickly, very easy to operate because it takes a little energy to do so. And bascule is a French word. In English, it's known as a drawbridge. What drawbridge do you know in London, guys? Is there anything coming through? Natalie?
Let's have a quick look to see if there's anything. I can't.
You can talk to me.
Nothing yet. Oh, yeah. Facebook has said Tower Bridge.
Okay, right. So
well
there
done,
we
Sandra.
go. Okay, so this is an example of a bascule bridge. It's a French word, and in English, it's a drawbridge. Okay, so well done to that person. Well done. It's a classic example. of a bascule bridge. Okay, the next one is a covered bridge. And a covered bridge is a structure. It's just a bridge, but it's enclosed. It normally has sides and a roof, one lane normally, and it's typically made of wood. And I was going to say in the old days, but you know what I mean, wooden bridges tended to deteriorate really quickly. And so now we have a lot of steel bridges. But the way that they made the lifespan longer was to actually provide a roof and sides. And then it meant that the bridge would extend their life to 80 years or more. So again, that was amazing. And there's an example there of a wooden bridge covered with the roof and the sides. And so the train or the vehicles, single lane, would go through, and then they were able to maintain the lifespan of that bridge. And as you know, with any business, it's all about cost. And so that helps to reduce costs. Okay. So our next task is to look at 6 main types of bridge designs and give 2 examples of each. So again, we're going to be looking at different types of bridges, and then I'll show you pictures, 2 pictures of each, so that you can see the actual theory and practice as I'm talking about it. So in the facts, I'm going to also incorporate the span, because another requirement is the actual span, but I've combined it in the facts. So in the arch bridge, the longest bridge is Chao Tianmen Bridge, which is in China. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that right, but please excuse me, China, which spans about 811 feet. Wow, that's an amazingly long bridge. And some of the bridges we're going to look at are just out of this world because they are so long. And you know, the bridge, in the facts here, it was saying the greatest bridge builders were the ancient Romans, and they built arch bridges and aqueducts that could stand any kind of conditions. And you know, earlier designs would have been damaged or destroyed, but they were very good at building bridges that withstood really serious conditions.
There are many in existence today, which means they have stood the test of time.
That's right. Yes, yes. Thank you, Natalie, for that. Yes, there are. And they work by transferring the weight of the bridge and its loads partially into a horizontal thrust. And then they have the abutments at either side. So I've got 2 pictures here to show you. One of them is Chao Tianmen Bridge in China. So that's an amazing bridge, isn't it? And 811 feet of bridge. That is just, I mean, wow, that is a very long bridge. It's a beautiful bridge as well. And then I've also got here the Alcantara Bridge in Spain, and you can clearly define the arches there, which is really beautiful. And then if you look really closely, there's an entrance there, like a covered area where they go up, and then through, up here, up here, up here. And then as you go up, you can see there's another entrance there to get to this castle. How amazing would it be to go through that? That's just an amazing bridge as well. So we've got some amazing bridges around the world. And then this one is the Jade Belt Bridge, again in China. There's one really well-defined arch there. I'm not sure whether it's a vehicular bridge or a pedestrian bridge, because it goes up quite high there and then goes down, but then Dartford Bridge does that as well. And it's vehicles, so I wouldn't be surprised. So that's another beautiful one there. Then we have the Beam Bridge. And the Beam Bridge, the main span of the Rio Niterói Bridge in Brazil is 980 feet. Wow. And those early bridges were simple logs, and they just sat across the streams, and you know, children used to just run over them. Now they're commonly made from steel, as I was saying. You have your I-beam, you have your box girders, your reinforced concrete and post-tension concrete. And they normally have one horizontal beam with 2 supports, usually on either end. And then the weight on the top of the beam pushes straight down on the piers, which are either end of the bridge. So the best way for me to demonstrate that is to show you some examples. So I've got an example there of the Fremont Bridge, Interstate 5. And you can see that is an intricate bridge, isn't it? And Natalie kindly put in a nice aerial top shot for me there, which brilliant. It really illustrates it well. And you can see the kind of, as I call it, spaghetti junction of a bridge. There's bridges going all over the place. But then when you look here, you can actually see the pillars that are holding that bridge up. You know, all those pillars are there and they're spaced out just right and calculated so that that tension and that compression is there, holding that bridge or those bridges in place, making sure it doesn't fail. And then the vehicles that are going over there add another element of force. And again, I just find it absolutely fascinating. So this is another beam bridge. This is one in Germany, much more relaxed and calm. Just going over a road there and probably a little stream in there and some grassed areas. So that's a nice relaxed one there. Then we come to cable stayed bridges. And the Ruski Bridge in Russia is 3,622 feet long. And that's even, I mean, they're getting longer and longer, you'll recognize. And it consists of one or more columns. They're normally referred to as towers or pylons with cables. And those cables actually support the bridge deck. And there are two different types of cable stayed bridges. One is the Harp design and one is the fan design. And with the Harp design, the cables are made nearly parallel by attaching the cables to various points on the tower. Again, I'll show you examples of this in a minute. So that the height of each of them is similar to the distance from the tower along the roadway to its lowest attachment. And then the fan design, the cables are all connected to or pass over the top of the towers. And this type of bridge is best for spans that are longer than those typically seen in cantilever bridges. These are really long span bridges. So one of the examples there is the Rio Antirian Bridge. That's a fan shaped. You can clearly see the fan shape there on that bridge. You can see the length of the bridge as well as it goes along. It's a very long bridge. And then we have the Rama the 8th Bridge in Thailand, which is the harp-shaped bridge. And again, when you look at that design, you can clearly see, you feel like playing the harp on it, don't you? It's really clearly defined. That is a beautiful bridge and it's lit up at night. It's absolutely amazing bridge. And then we have the Cantilever Bridge. The largest cantilever bridge in the world is the Quebec Bridge in Canada. And that's 1,801 feet long. That is just an amazing bridge. And the cantilevers are normally on structures that project horizontally into space, supported only on one end. And they can be simple beams or trusses built from steel or box girders and with pre-stressed concrete. And they can span distances of over 1,500 feet. They're much easier to construct at difficult crossings because, as I spoke about the false work, if you remember, the false work is the scaffolding, and so there's no false work required. But again, these are amazing bridges, and I've got a couple of examples to show you here. So I have the Forth Rail Bridge, which is in Scotland. You can see they're projecting horizontally, and the tension and the compression is in place there, and the vehicles going over that bridge again produce another force which adds to that to make sure that that bridge doesn't fail. And looking at it from afar, it looks beautiful, the way that that bridge has been designed, and the design is ever so important. Then we got the Quebec Bridge in Canada, which is similar. It's not as pronounced as the other bridge we just looked at, but it's the same principle, and you can see the steel work there, the box girders, all in place in that bridge, okay? And then we look at suspension bridges. Again, a different type of bridge. The longest suspension bridge is the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge in Japan. And that one spans 6,532 feet. I can't even compute that in my mind. It has 6 lanes of traffic. And, you know, it's hung the deck, the actual deck of the bridge is hung below the suspension cables, and they're on these vertical suspenders. And the cables are suspended between the towers, and they carry the weight of the deck below, and then the traffic crosses over that. This bridge is again constructed without any false work, which again, when you think of costs as a business, that is really, really appealing to companies because they're going to save money there. The cables are anchored at each end of the bridge, and then the load is transformed into a tension in the main cables. And the roadway is supported by rods called hangers. So they normally sit on a bluff or what's called a canyon edge. But again, I've got some amazing pictures to show you of the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge in Japan. So yeah, my slides are not in order, but the Mackinac Bridge in Michigan is the first one that I'm showing there. You can see the cable stays there holding that bridge in the suspension mode as it's hung there. And then here it is, the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge in Japan. That is an absolutely beautiful bridge. That is one of the longest bridges in the world. We only see a little section there. But again, I challenge you to look up these bridges. You'll get the slides, so you'll have all the names. And just look them up and have a look at how amazing they are, you know, and how long. This is an absolutely fantastic bridge. So then we have what's called a Truss Bridge. And the Truss Bridge is just your normal bridge. It's just a short bridge, short to medium crossings, normally about 50 meters. It's typically straight. Again, the tension and compression is there as well in those bridges. They're one of the oldest type of modern bridge, and they're economical to construct, again, because of the use of efficient materials, but also because false work isn't normally needed. These bridges, again, distribute the forces of compression, tension, bending, the force as the traffic goes over it, and they were normally made using timber because wood was in abundant supply. So again, these are the oldest type of modern bridge, but I've got an example here for you again. They're just plain flat. This is the Skygate Bridge R in Osaka in Japan. They have some amazing bridges over there as well. And then we've also got a Bailey Bridge, which is in Ladakh in India. That one was still under construction. That area was under construction. So yes. So I did have a question, which I did change the slide, actually. I don't know what happened. I think I've got another one on here, but which bridge, Pathfinders, which bridge design spans the longest distance? Which bridge design spans the longest distance? Can anyone remember from what we've said?
All right, Pathfinders, that's a challenge for you to see who was listening. Which bridge spans the longest distance? Let's see what we've got. All right, we've got one answer that's come through on Zoom, which says it's the suspension bridge. Let's see if anybody else has anything else. Facebook, do you have anything to add? Our viewers there. Oh, we've got a specific name. T's saying the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge in Japan. Yeah, Zoom is saying it's a suspension type bridge. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. It is the suspension bridge, and it is the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge in Japan at 6,532 feet.
Well done.
Well done. Very well done. Very well done. Okay, so another one of the requirements is to actually draw or illustrate the basic design of each of the following bridge types. And again, those are on there. So I've got those on there for you. So if we start with the beam bridge, so the beam bridge is the basic flat construction with abutments either end. The blue is representing the water underneath. Okay, so this would be the design that you would draw for that particular requirement. Okay, so that's the beam bridge. Then we have the arch bridge. Again, it's not got to be anything fancy, but literally just showing the arch there with the rest of the bridge on the abutments either end with your water. So as I say, a lot of the stuff has already been done for you, and it's just about putting it into your own, drawing it yourself, and then putting it into your folder. Then
and don't worry if you're not able to jot it down quickly enough. Don't worry, the presentation will be uploaded.
Yeah, will be coming out. Yeah,
so you can
definitely
go back and take a look at that afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Then we have the suspension bridge. Again, we looked at that. So that's just a simple basic drawing, just to show understanding. In terms of the covered bridge, again, as I said, the key feature of the covered bridge is that it has a roof and walls. So you could just draw a bridge and just draw a roof and walls for that one. So I haven't got a design there for that one specifically. And then the Truss Bridge, again, that's showing the truss on the top there and the bridge itself and your abutments either end. The cable stay bridge, the fan shape, again, it's just showing, understanding that the cables there are what's causing that compression and tension in that bridge, that style. And then we have the Cantilever Bridge. The Cantilever Bridge is the one that opens. Okay, no, it's not the Cantilever Bridge. The next one is the one that opens. There you go, the Bascule Bridge. A bit like our Tower Bridge there. The vehicles go over, and when a boat is coming, it will open. I'm sure it doesn't allow the cars to get that close when it's opening. but yeah, it just gives you the basic idea there, okay? And then we have the cable stayed bridge, the harp shape. Again, just showing the tension and compression in those cables and how attached it is to the actual deck of the bridge. Okay. How am I doing for time? Because I can't see my screen. How are we doing for time? Okay.
We've got 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. So we could do this exercise together then. And one of the requirements is to actually tell how the John 3:16 describes Jesus's role as a bridge between heaven and earth. And so, yeah, I just want to ask if someone could just tell us John 3:16. Can someone recite that? If someone can recite John 3:16, and then we could have a quick discussion around Jesus's role as a bridge.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life.
Amen. Thank you very much, Helen. Thank you. So let's have a little discussion about Jesus's role as a bridge. How is Jesus like a bridge between heaven and earth? Can anyone say? Anyone want to offer a response? Because this is what you would be writing about as part of the requirement.
You could just jot some notes down in the chat.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea if you don't want to actually speak. Yeah.
Yep, that's fine.
I'll give a few minutes and then I'll just
Right, Helen has said, Helen who just read for us, she said Jesus was the bridge humanity needed since they were drifting from God.
Amen. Thank you, Helen.
And Lorna's added, he sent his Son across the bridge from heaven to earth.
Amen. Amen. And those are powerful illustrations, aren't they? And you're not wrong at all. And I have put a little bit of text there for you to read and think about, and then you can, you know, put it into your own words when you're doing it. But I've just said that sin placed an uncrossable gap between God and man. So there was an obstruction there. Remember, I was saying that the bridge is actually placed over the obstruction. When God sent his Son to give his life for sinful man, that bridge was created by Jesus, whereby man could once again be restored to his rightful connection with God and heaven. And by believing in God's Son, we've each got that opportunity to be reconnected to the sin-free life that God intended for us. And Christ and the cross is that actual bridge between mankind and heaven. So Christ leads man to the gulf and points to the bridge by which it is spanned, saying, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. And that's taken from Luke chapter 9, verse 23. So that is the way that we describe Jesus's role as a bridge, and to relate it, this whole presentation, to Jesus, which is what we are about. We are about looking at Jesus's role as a bridge and restoring, being restored to our connection with God and heaven. So thank you, Helen, for contributing there. What I'm going to do now for the next couple of slides is to look at the things that you would need to do to continue your work and to achieve this honor. So one of the things you would need to do is to watch a video about bridges. We couldn't do that today because in the interest of time, but there are 2 links on there which you can tap on, which will take you direct to some really good videos about bridges. So that's number 1. And then number 2, you can either make a list of at least 8 notable bridges, which we've looked at more than 8 today, so they're there for you. Or you could name 2 bridges that you have crossed, and then you can tell what design they are. So that would be really good as well to do. You must also make a video or a multimedia presentation or a scrapbook presentation about any bridges that you have seen. And, you know, at this point, I would say that there is a scrapbook honor, and you may even want to do that honor and bag yourself another honor at the same time as still completing this one. So there is a scrapbook honor that you could potentially do alongside this one, and you would still be achieving.
I'll put the link in the chats for everyone.
Oh, great. Thank you. So the link is there in the chat for you if you want to do that as well. That's one of the honors that's already been done on here. And also, you have to build a bridge using materials such as craft sticks, toothpicks, yarn, thread, glue, Lego. We saw Pastor Gert's presentation, which was amazing. And, you know, maybe you could, if you're doing the Lego honor, you can actually do your bridge, making it using Lego. But there's an instruction there on that link that will help you in terms of how to make a truss bridge. So
yeah, one of the requirements was actually to do build something in Lego for a school project, but I think the Pathfinder project would work just as well. So
just as well, you're right.
You can get 2 honors in one go with this.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes, and plus the scrapbook one, free.
And the scrapbook one. Oh my goodness, what an
I know,
afternoon.
they're gonna have loads. You're gonna have to stock up in the shop. Okay, so now I'm going to ask us to test our knowledge. These are the last few slides. I know you've been on here for a little while, so we're not going to keep you longer than necessary, but we're going to test your knowledge. And so tell me what bridge you think this one is. You can put it in the chat if you don't want to speak out. And
all right, what kind of bridge is this? Is this an arch bridge, a suspension bridge, a truss bridge? What have we got coming through now? Facebook, you need to catch up. Zooming ahead. We've got, we've got 2. Oh, wow. They all agree that Zoom has all agreed it's a truss bridge.
Okay.
That wasn't a very positive. Maybe you could think again.
What about on is there any other? That's it. That's the responses now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all saying truss. I haven't got anything different from that.
Okay, so maybe because the picture's so far away, but what are these, guys? This one is a cable-stayed bridge, okay? It does, I can understand why they would say that because it looks quite flat there, but yeah, there's the cable. This is the Severn Bridge. And this is the one that we go over when we're going to camp meeting, if anyone's been to camp meeting at Prestatim. So that's the cable-stayed Severn Bridge. You're going towards Wales.
Yeah.
It's okay, but good try. Good try. Let's try this one. You guys will probably all know this one.
Yep. Oh, somebody else put cable stayed.
Yeah.
Yep, everybody agrees. Cable.
Yeah, cable stayed. Does anyone want extra points? Points make prizes. What bridge is that?
Oh.
And where is it? I know someone's going to know. Look closely.
They're driving on the left, aren't they?
Yes.
So it's not the US. Club director Sophia would love to answer this question.
She can.
Sophia Limited. Come on, Sophia.
Come on, Sophia, help the Pathfinders.
Go for it. We're waiting for you. We're waiting. She's saying it's the Dartford Bridge.
Yay! It's the Dartford Crossing, cable stayed bridge. Yeah, that's the one there.
She's gone over that bridge many
times. And that bridge is, I get absolutely, I start sweating. It's such a high bridge. It's so frightening, honestly. But it's a beautiful design. And you can actually see those cable stays as you go over as well. Brilliant. Well done, guys. So I've got another one. We said this one earlier, so that one should be nice and easy for you.
All right, this should be very easy for anybody in almost any part of the world to guess.
Exactly.
Is it the cable stage?
No, not a cable one, that one. Let's see if someone remembers the word.
Facebook, we haven't had anything from you. Come on, guys.
It's a French word as a clue.
Aha. We've got drawbridge,
Yay.
Bascule Bridge.
Bascule, that's it. And drawbridge, it's both the same. Bascule is French and
Tower Bridge in London, yeah.
Yes, excellent. Well done, guys. You see, you're going to be looking at bridges differently. Didn't I tell you that? We're all going to be looking at bridges and trying to work out which ones they are. So our next one, what's this one?
Aha, what type of bridge is this?
You could also tell me where it is if you know.
So Lorna thinks it's a Truss Bridge. Somebody else thinks, Bunty thinks it's a Bascule Bridge. Or maybe she's answering the last one.
Yeah, she's probably answering the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got agreements that it's a Truss Bridge here.
Okay. It might not be the best picture, but it is actually an arch bridge because of that arch there. And there are arches.
Answering this question now, she did say arch bridge. So
yeah, well done, well done. It's an arch bridge. And this is actually London Bridge. So this is our own very own London Bridge. It's not necessarily, but you can see the red bus.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's an arch bridge. And as you go over the bridge, you can see the arches on the, as you go over the other bridges, you can see the arches on the London Bridge.
And it's not the London Bridge that's falling down either.
No, exactly. That is the tension and the compression and the force is all working there to make the bridge a success. Okay, where's this one? And what type of bridge is that one?
Wow. All right, guys, let's see what we've got here. Radio silence. They're thinking hard. Any guesses?
Nothing?
No, you have stumped them with
Have
this.
I would have been stumped too. I mean, it's only because I researched it, to be fair. This bridge had a lot of controversy because it used to swing when people were walking on it. There's a clue. These are people that are on this bridge. They walk across. It's in London, central London. And this is our Millennium Bridge.
It is a Millennium Bridge.
This is our Millennium Bridge. What a beautiful design. And it's a steel suspension bridge, yes.
Well done, Bunty.
So, well done for getting that. It's a beautiful design. It was a brand new design and it didn't quite work at first. They had to close it, you might remember, because when people were walking on it, it was swinging either way. But yeah, it's a beautiful design bridge and a steel suspension bridge, our own Millennium Bridge, okay? And then the last one there,
Okay.
probably won't guess where it is, but what type of bridge does this look like?
Let's see, guys. Facebook, Pathfinders. Let's see if you can get there before the Zoom, Pathfinders. You've got to be typing quickly for this one. Oh, I think you've caught them again.
Again, oh,
I
somebody
think
said
you
it
have.
earlier. It's actually a truss bridge. So that one is the truss bridge. Remember the concrete beam just on there on the pylons. So that's a truss bridge, and that one is in Kew Railway Bridge. Near Kew Gardens there.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's in
Okay.
Kew, and yeah, so that's again one of ours. I tried to look for the ones here because all the other ones I used were international. So I thought, let's look
Yeah.
for our bridges here. And you know, I just wanted to show you this slide here because we have so many bridges in this country. It's untrue. And this is just in London. I mean, look at the number of bridges that you can see there, you know, they're all just going around there. Absolutely amazing.
It is.
I just thought this picture really just kind of summed that up there, that we've got lots of bridges in London, and it's really worth just going around a day out with your family and just going over those bridges.
Definitely.
And,
Taking some photos and adding them to your
photos,
worksheet.
exactly, yeah. So my
Good
final
job.
slide, I did promise you that there were lots of pictures, and you can see that they were, but I just want to wish you all the best as you complete your homework to earn your honor. And please do go on to complete the honor because you're almost there. You've got all the information there. So I want to encourage you to go off and build your bridge, whether it's Lego or whatever you're going to build it with, and all the other bits. Watch the video and, you know, get your honor signed off.